Breaking news to get to now. President Trump, who's just announced tariffs for Canada imports. The president saying moments ago on Truth Social that there will be a 35% tariff on goods imported from Canada starting.
As breaking news, reiterating news coming in from Reuters that is reporting that President Trump has modified reciprocal tariffs, including for Canada. According to Reuters, the White House says Trump has determined that it is necessary and appropriate.
Which is that 85% of the trade between Canada and the United States is tariff-free. That's our exports to the United States, that's U.S. exports to Canada. And we recognize that. We recognize...
It was just after midnight on August 1st, 2025, when a single stroke of a pen in Washington set off an economic showdown. President Trump raised tariffs on Canadian goods from 25% to 35%, calling it a win for America and boasting about the revenue it would bring in. But this time, the United States miscalculated. Canada, usually the quiet neighbor, decided it had had enough. Within 72 hours, the counterstrike began, and it didn't look like a trade war America had seen before. No failli species, no loud threats. Instead, Canada moved silently through contracts, redirected supply chains, and what economists later called the nuclear option. Ordinary Americans felt it first. A hoodie at Walmart jumped from $6.98 to nearly $11. A morning coffee cost 40% more. Weekend trips across the border evaporated. And in Florida, where Canadian visitors normally inject $6 billion every winter, local businesses were left half empty. Mayors went on TV begging Washington to reverse course. But Ottawa remained silent. The lack of drama was the strategy. At the center of it was Prime Minister Mark Carney, a man known more for numbers than speeches. Carney had once led both Canada's and Britain's central banks, guiding them through the 2008 crash and Brexit. Now, he was playing economic chess against Trump. His first move slashed Canada's reliance on the U.S. In a single year, America's share of Canadian exports fell by 10 percentage points. Canada struck new deals with Europe, the UK, Japan, South Korea, and Mexico, weaving itself into a global trade network far less dependent on one neighbor. His second move was even bolder: critical minerals. Lithium, nickel, cobalt, uranium, rare earths, the materials that power smartphones, electric cars, fighter jets, and satellites. For years, China controlled most of the world's refining capacity. Carney fast-tracked mines, built new processing plants, and positioned Canada as the West's alternative to Beijing. The Pentagon noticed the U.S. had a choice: rely on China or on Canada. Yet tariffs were pushing Ottawa further away, forcing policymakers to rethink decades of economic partnership once taken for granted. Meanwhile, Canadians embraced a quiet resistance. Buy Canadian campaigns swept across the country. Maple leaf stickers marked imports, and shoppers proudly chose local products. It wasn't anger. It was solidarity, a calm but powerful unity that reached from grocery aisles to car dealerships. Every dollar spent at home became a small act of defiance, strengthening the economy while sending a message across the border with unmistakable clarity and growing confidence. For Americans, the pain was growing. Cars rose up to 8%, shoes by 40%, clothing by over 30%. Even Walmart admitted it couldn't shield customers forever. Factories like Ford Motor absorbed billions in tariff costs, risking jobs, research budgets, and entire future projects that once symbolized U.S. innovation and industrial strength. Then came the twist. Even as the fight with Canada escalated, Trump paused tariffs on China for 90 days. Beijing seized the moment, striking new deals across Africa and Asia, cementing supply chains while Washington clashed with its closest ally and appeared distracted on the world stage. In the end, Canada had turned quiet strategy into a weapon. America's claim that trade wars were easy to win collapsed. For the first time in modern memory, the U.S. found itself not dominating, but struggling to keep up, while its northern neighbor had quietly rewritten the rules of the game and shown the world how resolve could outweigh raw power, patience could outlast pressure, and dignity could triumph over reckless bluster and short-sighted politics.